Happy Friday, everyone. How's it going, Juju Gang? Let's talk Tesla. Let me know if my audio is coming in clear. Throw in the chat where you guys are tuning in from. I see so many familiar faces already in the chat. Chadwick from Cleveland. How's it going, Chad? Mimi, Gurdeep, Quentin, Matthew, Sung, Steven. Congrats on the new Model 3 performance. That's awesome. There we go. Opinion guy. What's up, dog? Okay, let's do this. So 289 sitting on Tesla. I'm going to have to get used to that new price action. Obviously the split is done as of yesterday. Very much a weak market today, mostly on the back of Jay Powell speaking at Jackson Hole. Nasdaq is down 3.3%. I reckon it's probably going to be down 3.5% by the time we close. But Tesla's still, I guess if you want to say, relatively stronger than the market, only down 2%. On a day where the Nasdaq's down 3.5%, you'd reckon Tesla would be down 6-7%. So Tesla being down only 2%, I guess, is kind of the, if we're trying to be optimistic, that's kind of what it is. But 289 sitting on Tesla. Let me read out some places here. By the way, I got my Juju Gang hoodie on. There we go. Always repping. And let me read off some places. Atlanta. Hillary, how's it going? Daryl, Rot, surprised how low the volume is. Volume today is 45 million, which is about 15 million pre-split. Yes. Yeah, I'm still going to have to get used to that. 45 million. Seems like a lot. Richard says, greetings from Malibu, California. There we go. Namahe from Stockholm, Sweden. How's it going? Sweden as well. Mimi. Michael from Austria. Voice is gone. Is my audio not working? Hopefully it is. Charlotte, Switzerland, Denmark, Satellite Beach, Florida, Syracuse, New York, Lathrop, California, Juju County. Digital, how's it going? Hey from Minnesota. Montreal, Juju Gang, Bay Area represent, Gonzalo. London, UK, Nicaragua. There we go. Bologna from Istanbul, Stockholm. Audio's fine. Okay, good. Tesla just popped. MD, Belgium. Audio's good. Okay, audio's fine. Yeah, I think might have been referring to something else then. So we got a lot to talk about today. San Mateo, Mars, even from someone. Wolfgang from Germany. I'm going to try to pronounce this. Kurp Falls. I don't really have my German accent down. Nottingham, Silicon Valley, Australia. Spokane, Czech Republic, Salt Lake City, Edmonton, Germany, Glendale, San Diego, India, Tampa Bay, Florida, Broomsville. Man, folks, we are just, I say it every week, so it bears repetition. But the worldwide audience that we have on this channel, it's I love it. I'm very blessed. Okay, 290 sitting on Tesla. Remember, today Jeremy Powell spoke, and I'm going to go through some of what he talked about. Let me just pull up my Twitter feed here. I've got some headlines pulled out. So for better or for worse, usually for worse when the Fed is talking, Powell says history cautions against prematurely loosening policy. Remember, today the expectation out of the Fed was, okay, let's hear if they're finally willing to admit that bad times may be ahead with the rate hikes that have already been put in. So one of the headlines that came out today was, them pretty much saying, look, we are not signaling to the market that we're going to be loosening our policy anytime soon. I think this is a really awesome thing, by the way. This headline shows us that, number one, they realize that words matter. What they say, the market tries to price in. Remember, we can only defeat inflation if the market will continue to think that rates will be at these elevated levels for a while. If the rates were just going to touch 6-7% or something astronomically high and then come back down, no one would really, in our day-to-day lives as consumers, we wouldn't really adjust if we knew rates were just going to come up and then come all the way back down. The Fed has to stand pat on these rates for inflation to come back down, which is good. Remember, the stronger they are with this sort of stuff, the faster we can turn around. I know it's ironic, and some people are going to say, why are you even talking about turning around? But that's just where we are at the moment. Another headline that came out, this was kind of going viral. Powell says U.S. economy should brace for, quote, some pain. Look, this is the most obvious statement of 2022. I think we've already seen some pain. Powell is always 6 months behind. The U.S. economy has already been laying off. I mean, if you talk about the tech sector, anecdotally speaking, the tech sector that we're seeing, the tech sector layoffs that we're seeing, are across the board. They're indiscriminate. The tech sector has already been doing this for the last 2 or 3 months. I reckon it's probably the same across a lot of industries, but I don't have too much insight into very many more than tech. So when you talk about some pain, we're already in pain. We're already in a technical recession. The Atlanta Fed GDP now number estimate has gone up a little bit, mind you. It's gone up. It's about 1.5%. So, and we still got time till the end of this quarter. So as we sit here and we talk about the weakening economy, it's very possible that we print another negative GDP growth this year. Very possible. That's the problem, is how do you continue to keep rates as high as they are? Like, you have to keep rates as high as they are because inflation numbers still haven't come all the way down where we need it to be. But at the same time, if the economy is showing signals of weakness, and that's to really say the obvious with the recession, that's really the problem, is how do you serve both of those masters? Okay, so those are some headlines. Let me read off some comments here. I hope, did anyone watch my video last night? I was kind of torn whether I should react to it or not. It was like 11:30 at night. I was like, screw it, let's just do it. Let's see here. Yeah, so we'll definitely talk about the SpaceX news as well. So the weakness on the Friday, I mean, look, so if you look at the Nasdaq, pull this up. The weakness on the Nasdaq is, I mean, 3.5% is nothing to sneeze at. It's definitely at this point now where it's interesting to see where we're set up for next week. Our levels, if we pull up the Qs, really, we talk about our levels. Our next level isn't really until the 50 moving average at 300. So about $10 down from here. The S&P 500 SPY support doesn't really exist until the 4,000 level, until 400. So we got, I mean, quite some room down if need be. I mean, $7, mind you. But remember, these lines are rarely, if we're going to retest this support down here, it's not just going to be a little touch. It's usually going to be a drawdown and then seeing buyers come post that, trying to buy the dip if the sentiment is okay. You know, something like Google's down 5% today. Nasdaq, Tesla down 2.2%. It sounds like you guys like the video. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I was, you know, usually like I try to stay away from fight for the sake of fight. Like I felt like that was just kind of set up for entertainment, that little debate, but still wanted to get my thoughts out there, I feel like. Sam says, hey, Yash, excited for next week. I'm taking delivery of my Model Y Performance. Also have Tesla Solar and referred 3 people to get it. Congrats, Sam. That's awesome. Model Y Performance. Jealous. Very jealous. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. 289 sitting on Tesla at the moment. Let's see what else I got pulled up here. If you look at the options flow, and we'll talk about options here in a second. Let me just pull it up. Let's see here. Just going into, let's do 1 to 30 days off. Let's pull that up. I mean, the algo flow, the price action is actually, like, algo flow is not supporting the broad move that we've been seeing. I'll move my head. This is the algo flow for Tesla. You'll see we saw a lot of put selling. I think since in the last hour we've seen some put buying going on, contributing to some of the green momentum going away. But I mean, after elevated call buying this morning, we really haven't seen much call action, buying or selling. It's just kind of been relatively flat all day. This is just today's trading day. So we'll keep an eye on this as we continue our stream to see where it goes. Remember, Fridays, last 15 minutes of options flow, I find very interesting because I think it gives us a really clear, a clearer insight into how Monday might be. We got Labor Day coming up here in a couple weeks too, hey? Time flies. Like, August is almost done. That's crazy. Oh, by the way, you know what? I was supposed to give, hold on. AJ. I was supposed to give a shout out to AJ T, aka Andrew. I forgot to give it like last month. I was at a wedding, and I'm at a wedding. One of Avi's close friends at their wedding, super awesome reception, And I meet this awesome dude, and we get to talking. He's like, I watch the channel. And I was like, this is hilarious. And I was like, oh, I got to give you a shout out. We talked for like half an hour, 45 minutes. And I forgot to give him a shout out last month. So shout out to you, Andrew. Happy Friday, Sanjit, to you as well. Let's see here. I have a hard time scrolling on this chat. The energy crisis in Europe. I mean, that's a big, like, forget about stocks for a second. Even like that's a big thing to watch out for. As like a force majeure, like that's big. Not sure how much bark there is, how much bite there is to that bark. But yeah, I mean, that's something definitely to look out for. 288.68 sitting on Tesla. Let's go through some other stocks. Nasdaq or Amazon is down 4.5%. Let's pull this up here. Let's look at other EV car manufacturers. Hey, Danny, thank you for the 25 Hong Kong dollars. Appreciate that, my friend. Hello from Hong Kong. Appreciate your support as always. Polestar is down 2.4%. Rivian is down 3% on the day. Honda down about 2.24%. Toyota down about the same. Lucid down 4%. XPEV down 3%. NIO's almost trading flat on the day, actually, only down 50 basis points. Tesla, we know, 2.5% down. And then GM and Ford between 2 and 3% down on the day. So just general weakness in autos altogether. NIO actually faring the best, surprisingly enough. That's kind of surprising. NVIDIA getting hammered? What's wrong with let me see. Oh, wow. 8.2%. Someone fill me in. I haven't been following with NVIDIA. What's happening with them? I suppose I could pull up the news, but someone on the chat would be able to fill me in better. 8.25. Oh, they must have reported. Yeah, they reported earnings. Hey, so the reported earnings were that was a couple of days ago though. Oh, analyst downgrades. Gotcha. Yeah, interesting. You know what? I still like NVIDIA though. Yeah, I mean they definitely outperformed because of the pandemic and all the gaming. Like prices of chips were just crazy. I remember I was building my PC and looking at chips and stuff to buy, and it was just everything was backlogged. Everything was like 2 times markup. You couldn't find anything. I suppose the opposite, the other side of the pendulum swing is happening. So guidance is poor. Okay. Yeah, that's too bad. I mean, NVIDIA's market cap is still 410 billion. 410 billion. Like the thing is they're not going to go anywhere. By the way, look at how far they're down from all-time highs. From all-time highs to today, NVIDIA is down 53%, give or take, 53. Let's do Tesla for comparison. Everyone likes to say that Tesla is always the bipolar stock here. Tesla's only down 30% from all-time highs. So, I mean, look at that, right? And the Nasdaq, in case you're curious, let's pull up the Nasdaq as well. The Nasdaq is down about 20. Oh, is this right? 24%, 23%. Hold on, let me just make sure my Tesla. I almost don't believe the Tesla. The Tesla drawdown trend line. I'm going to delete it. I'm going to redo it here. From November of 2021 till today, Tesla's down about 30%. Wow. So Tesla's done, like grand scheme, since all-time highs, if you want to kind of set the bar there, Tesla's done pretty well. You know, Polestar, I think a lot of people are sleeping on Polestar. I know there's, scale is always the question with other EVs. I'm seeing semi-trucks here being delivered with Polestar cars. Like I saw one a couple weeks ago. And I saw 2 or 3 Polestars in and around the areas that I hang out in. I'm starting to see a lot of Polestars. I'm actually quite impressed. I actually think the cars look good. I'm not sure about the battery tech. I'm not sure about maybe I should go do a test drive at the dealership for Polestar. Maybe I should do a Lucid dealership, and maybe I should make them videos on the channel. Because I know Lucid has a dealership here. Maybe I should just do like a walk-in, talk to a sales rep, do like a first person video, just going myself. That'd actually be kind of fun to test drive one. uh, yeah, the joke's on us with the Tesla phone. Yeah, honestly, all the Tesla phone. I hate what is up with all these YouTube videos about, oh, the Tesla phone's coming out. Like, I'm talking months and months and months ago. Tesla phone, Tesla's about to kill Apple, with like all this like random clickbait hype. And then now with SpaceX and the announcement yesterday, I think that's actually kind of funny. Review the experience. Yeah. Rob says Polestar reminds me of an EV for senior citizens. I mean, no offense. I think that's probably more like the Chevy Bolt or the Nissan Leaf. No disrespect. I definitely like we had a Leaf in the family. I actually don't mind the Bolt. Minus all the battery stuff. Yeah, I think the Polestar actually kind of looks new agey. Here, let me pull it up. I don't know. The thing is, I can't really tell between the Polestars, the models, all the models yet. Like, I don't really have an eye for them. This is the Polestar 3. I think it looks okay. Let me see here. That's their sales page needs some help though. Like, one photo, like, come on. Like, just one photo. Let's do the Polestar 2. They don't even have it here. Hold on. Their SEO needs some work. Definitely needs some. Polestar's an old fast car. Is it really? Is that what the reputation is? I had no idea. Polestar 6, the electric performance roadster, launching 2026. I mean, if 2026, that's 4 years from now. Let's discount another 3 years past that. We're talking probably 2030 maybe for this launch. Okay, this one, okay, I will agree. This Polestar right here, yeah, I get it. It's not really for me. Actually, this one looks nicer. This is a different one. I'm not sure which one this is. The first one, yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, this is kind of cool with this drag and drop site. What is this? The beginning of the end. Oh, great. Sure. I think they got to work on their site, man. I think their site is not great. Book a test drive. Maybe I should book a test drive right here at the location. Have a test drive at Polestar. Maybe I should book a test drive right now. Interesting. $289 sitting on Tesla. Looks better than the Model 3, says Sung. Debatable. You know what? I didn't love the Model 3 right away as much as I do now, of course. It took some time for it to grow on me in terms of the design. I thought it looked, the Chevy Bolt, that looks really buggy. But, I quite like the Model 3 design. Here's the Model 3. I guess I'm biased. You could say that as well. I think Tesla updated their site, though. I think they updated their sales page. Or maybe I just haven't gone on in a long time. They added a lot of features in here. Interesting. Okay. We got a lot to talk about. Let's talk about... hold on, what? Really? Yeah, the one that on the sides is not great. But let's watch CNBC, Bernstein's Tony Sacconaghi, on Tesla and what he has to say about Tesla maintaining its share over time. Let's take a listen.
Shown the company a lot of love recently after the passage of the Inflation Reduction Act. But is the positive tone misplaced? With us, Tony Sacconaghi, Managing Director at Bernstein. Tony, people lose a lot of money betting against Tesla, but what does the company have to do to be as big in the next 10 years as Ron Barron expects?
Well, good afternoon, John, and thanks for having me on the show. Look, Tesla's executing extremely well, and it has dominant share of the electric vehicle marketplace today. It has about 20% of all EVs sold globally are Tesla branded. So, arguably, if they were able to hold share and have 20% share of the EV market and all cars were EVs, 90 million cars a year, Tesla would be selling 18 million cars a year instead of about 1.5 million today. So, the question is, can Tesla maintain its share over time? And I think that is a question. There's no automaker today who has more than about 9 or 10% share, and that would be Toyota and Volkswagen. And the market is becoming more competitive than it has been. You have all the traditional
Competition is coming. I think we've heard this one before.
OEMs who have jumped into this marketplace, but you have many new EV OEMs, particularly in China, who have joined in. So it may be a tall order to believe that Tesla.
Okay, he mentions China in passing. You know what? Unless something changes otherwise, I have a hard time thinking that Chinese EV manufacturers are gonna. I have a hard time believing they're gonna have an easy time penetrating the North American market. I think the same thing happened with smartphones. I know iPhones are built in China, but it's an American brand. I think American brands in North America are going to continue to be the dominant. I look at something like Huawei, right? Huawei, objectively speaking, their phones are the great specs. Objectively speaking, if you just look at the numbers, like they have great phones, right? But why do they have a hard time getting North American adoption? So I think for the same reasons, I think the Chinese EV makers are going to do great in China. But outside of China, I have a hard time believing that they're going to do well.
Tesla can continue to maintain share in the face of more and more EVs coming to the marketplace.
But here's my worry, though, is that saying that is a little like saying back 20 years ago, here's what percentage of the PC market Apple would have to grow into to justify it being worth anything near, say, $500 billion. We know it's beyond that, and not because it gained a ton of share in the PC market, because it leveraged its loyalty, its brand, its platform, and vertical integration in a way that nobody else in that business could and did. Might Tesla do something similar? Or do we risk, in the bear case, looking at it too much like a traditional car company?
I think that's a great question, and there are several potential opportunities that Tesla can create for itself. The whole world of autonomous driving, which is an offering that Tesla currently sells today for $15,000.
He says risk reward not attractive for long-term investors on Tesla. It's a struggle to justify the company's valuation.
For car and has very little take-up is a significant market opportunity. Tesla's also talked about a humanoid, a robot in essence, that could displace manufacturers, or manual labor in the workforce going forward, and that this could be a significant opportunity. They're also delving into areas like insurance as well. So there is significant option value from Tesla. I think in Tesla's case, perhaps, similarly to Apple, is just betting on innovation. Apple was only a Mac or PC company 20 years ago, and then everything changed with the introduction of the iPod and then ultimately the iPhone, and it has evolved into a totally different company going forward. And the question is, does one bet on Tesla's innovation going forward? And I think there is some of that option value that is priced into the stock, given that Tesla today basically trades at a higher valuation than all the other auto companies in the world combined.
Again, I talked about this on yesterday's video. Tesla is just like any other automaker, I don't think is totally completely honest. Their margins are in a league of its own, in a world of its own. Yes, they all make cars, but at the end of the day, if you're making cars at 30+% gross margin and your competition is struggling to be even gross margin positive with their EVs, and we know everything is going EV. Just yesterday, or just the other day, California bans new gas car vehicles or new gas car sales from 2035 and onwards. I just don't think it's quite the appropriate comparison.
Right. Well, let's talk a little bit about Apple specifically. They got an event coming up on September 7th where we expect to see the next generation iPhone, and see probably.
So now they're going to talk about the iPhone and the Apple. I don't think we really care about that too much right now. One thing to know with the iPhone is, or the iPhone release, it's rumor that it's going to be a satellite phone. It's going to have satellite capability inside, which makes sense. If you look at yesterday's SpaceX T-Mobile collaboration announcement, where they're going to hook up, pretty much get you Starlink satellite reception no matter where you are, no more dead zones, just by connecting your regular smartphones to the grid or to the satellite. I think that's awesome. I thought it was going to be eSIM, more like an eSIM capability, but obviously it's going to be more satellite oriented, which I don't think my phone today. Like I have the iPhone 13 or 12, one of those ones. I don't think they could probably do it today, but Elon thinks they can. 289 sitting on Tesla. I am burning up in here. It's very hot. It's actually not even very hot. It's like 18 degrees today in Vancouver. So I guess the sweater is getting to me. Mimi says, even if you look at Tesla as a car company, they're a company like no other. Yeah, I mean, look, the gross margin, and I've pulled it up before, and I have a video on my channel where I talk about the valuation and looking at Ford and GM, for example, as comparisons to Tesla and the margins that they have. And actually, let me pull it up. Let me pull them up right here. Let's see if I can. Let's do some digging. Oh, CNBC is talking about energy stocks right now, so I don't think anyone really cares. I'm going to go on hyper charts, and I'm going to pull up. Actually, let me just type in F for Ford. And let me type in GM. Okay, so Tesla's, let's do annual, just to get a better glimpse at this. Tesla's margins, and these are annual. They can depend by quarter. Actually, maybe let's do quarter so I can get a better idea. Remember last quarter there was the shutdown. Tesla's gross margins were, and this is X ZEV credits, I presume, is what they're updating here. X the zero emission vehicle credits, 29.1%. It's over 30% with those credits, of course. And if you look at something like GM, and we look at operating margin, well, the gross margin, let's say, was 18%. And this is GM at full scale. They've been around for a long time. Tesla is still scaling. Tesla's still in the early days of their growth. And their operating margin is 5.91%. Compared to Tesla's with last quarter, with China shut down for as long as it was, still at 14.5%. So, like, really in a league of its own. Look at Ford and the quarterly numbers here. Last quarter, Ford's gross margin was 18%. Let's say rounding down or rounding up. I mean, and operating margin was 7%. So 7% operating margin for Ford last quarter. Tesla's with a factory with China shut down for as long as it was, 14.5%. So just in a league of its own. And this is early days without gig castings, without 4680s, all that sort of stuff. Farzad, how's it going, man? Maybe says hi, Blueberry Man. Who keeps calling me? Hold on. I got other, let me just see here, pulled up here. The levels I'm watching, by the way, on Tesla at the moment, let me just pull up the hourly. Levels I'm watching really are kind of far on the upside for right now. On the hourly, leveled upside is 335, so some work to do there. On the daily, we're still on the uptrend on the daily for Tesla, but don't want to see a break of actually, hold on one second. Oh, sorry, hold on. I just misread that totally. Let me take off the cues. On the upside, Tesla's number is 302 on the hourly. On the daily, Tesla, we don't want to see Tesla go below 275-ish. It would break the bull trend currently on the daily for Tesla. Just two slight levels to look at. With the post-split stuff, it's just a little bit wacky. Farzad says, Tesla showing a lot of strength relative to markets today. I'm hopeful that once it turns bullish, Tesla outperforms. That's kind of the question right now is like, you know, with Jay Powell coming out talking today, we're kind of setting up for an ugly week next week with the amount of weakness that we're seeing on the table today. You could make an argument that, hey, if markets flush out, then Monday could be setting up for a right buying day. But in the last couple of months, when we see selling indiscriminately like this, and the Nasdaq is down, Tesla's doing better than the macro by a lot, but Nasdaq is down almost 4%, right? 3.7% on the day. Usually when you see kind of these big red days, they're usually followed by huge drawdowns the following day as well. Maybe they get bought up, maybe they don't. That's another one. Actually, Moon says investment grade rating coming. That's one today that, you know, Is it possible? I'm just kind of shooting out my tinfoil theory here. Is it possible that investment grade credit was pretty much on the table post this earnings report, this 10Q, and they just wanted to wait for the split to happen? They had the report ready, but it referenced everything divided by 3, right? Tesla stock price post split. They made it, they got it all ready, and they were just going to publish it today after hours or something. Mimi, or not Mimi, sorry, Madame Alexandra, aka Tesla Boomer Mama on Twitter, shout out to you, has been quite diligent in reporting this stuff. Go follow her if you don't already. Yesterday, she sent an email to, I think, S&P and Moody's, and she got a couple of out-of-office bounces back, and the out-of-offices were one person's coming back next Monday, and the other person's coming back post-Labor Day. So I reckon unless the report's already done and filed and supposed to be coming out, let's say today or next week or something, it seems like post Labor Day is kind of probably where the majority of the probability lies for investment grade rating coming. And if not investment grade rating, at least a note to fill us in. You know, there's still a non-zero chance that we just get a report by a form of a note that says, hey, look, Tesla's close to investment grade. But we haven't seen, you know, for example, we haven't seen Austin come online with positive gross margins yet. We're just waiting for that. We know Berlin was online with, like, these guys kind of make their own rules. But the last report that we got, the last note that we got, that's what they wanted to wait for. So. Alexander, thank you for that $4.20 super chat. Seeing Model Y teardown made me go 100% leaps. Ooh. Well, remember, I mean, of course, not financial advice at all. Just be cognizant of, you know, this is awesome, but macro kind of is running the show a little bit. Case in point today. I mean, macro does run the show. The Fed, and when the Fed is talking, the CPI report that's going to be coming out for next month, inflation, by the way, came out, some reports this morning, cooling down, so that's good. But macro has a large degree of the hold on the market at the moment. So that's my only consideration there. But hey, wish you the best of luck. 288 sitting on Tesla at the moment. It is awesome that we have people like Sandy Monroe, right, in the community. I don't even think Sandy is invested in Tesla, but just seeing his expertise, his breakdown, the ability for him to relate the teardowns across different automakers. It's just invaluable. Todd Murray says rating agencies love posting ratings action late Fridays. Well, that's kind of what he had. Well, Sandy was invested in Tesla, but did he not say that he sold everything to kind of keep it? I guess I haven't followed with that. Maybe he bought back in, but I swear I thought I heard him say a while ago that he sold everything because it went up too far, too fast, and he was like, "I'm going to sell it. Plus, I can not have conflict of interest." Whatever, it doesn't really matter if he has it or not. He said he drives Rivian. Okay. Farzad says something I learned a little bit ago from a quick Google search. There's 1.3 million Uber drivers and taxis in the U.S. Tesla can make equals number of robotaxis in 6 months. 1.3 million Uber drivers for a population of 300 to 400 million. That's actually quite low. I mean, because Uber drivers are usually just contractor drivers. Maybe that's regular full-time drivers. I thought it would have been higher, to be honest, but interesting. Oh, he sold and invested in Arcimoto. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. 288.39 sitting on Tesla. Let me change this to the minute by minute. Let's take a look at options order flow as well as we continue here. Let me just see, paste. Oops. Let me just pull a new report here from TradyTix. Options order flow is a big fat nothing burger at the moment. Do you guys want to listen to CNBC? Let's see what they got saying.
1949, I think it was started. We've never had that negative a sentiment. So we had this, the ingredients were in place, and of course, economic expectations got too negative. Mike, for the life of me, I don't understand why people think we're in a sharp recession or two. I know it's 2 negative quarters of real GDP, but we had 7% nominal growth. Corporate profits were okay. So the recession call and how we go from here comes next year. And to discuss the yield curves, everybody's got their own favorite yield curve, right? You got 2-10, 5-30, 3-month, 10-year, whatever. When you look at the percentage of yield curves, I get this from my friends at Ned Davis, the percentage of yield curves that are inverted hit 55% a couple of weeks ago. Going back over the last 6 or 7 cycles, every time that you've had it get to 55%, which it did again a couple of weeks ago, you've ended up in a recession. The Fed is raising rates to a historic degree, and they're only halfway done based on what the indications are, in a his generationally levered system with rising inventories and slowing demand. That's a tough one to say. You got to chase a market that's at 18 times.
Right. No, exactly. It's hard to say chase it. At the same time, you know, you're kind of going through this list of we've never seen this before. This is what an exception to the usual cycle is. I remember on the way up in 2020 and 2021, we did the same thing on the upside. We never had a market double off the low as fast as it did. So obviously there's a bit of a whipsaw effect. And I wonder what the indicators are telling you in terms of how the real economy is going to perform through this when it comes to things like consumers having more of a cushion than they have in the past. You look at things like the senior loan survey and whether in fact banks are willing to finance growth from here. How does that shake out at this point?
Mike, I really think we have to separate the economy and the market. But again, it goes back to what is the Fed going to do from here, right? They're raising interest rates. In 2020, my mistake coming up, I think we did a good job of looking at the low on all the extremes like we had in June of this year. And then I kept calling for a retest initially, even though, and what caused us to shift from there was when the Fed announced they were buying high yield corporate debt on April 9th. We called it a game changing decision. But by then the market had ripped. So I was wrong at that point. It's different we've had this call for the fall since really the early spring, because the Fed is still raising rates, and that's the difference on a test. When you look at a test of the low, to me, again, any momentum shift, I am respectful of the market momentum. Any momentum shift, however, where it was a sustainable low and a real V bottom, every time I could find it, it came with an E, not just a Fed that stopped raising rates as much, but an actual easier Fed. So we're in between here.
Yeah, we are actually making new lows here for the session, down more than 900 on the Dow, more than 3% on the S&P 500. So down below those kind of previous August lows in the S&P that we had been watching for a bit, down 3.7% on the Nasdaq. So Tony, in terms of the what do you do question, what's your best guidance on that score?
Mike,
in terms of sectors, in terms of types of stocks?
People keep because I was bullish for so long, right? I was the mega bull, right? But here's the problem. It's all about money availability. And people forget that back in the 2007, 2008, 2009 period, or even the 2001, 2, and 3 period, liquidity really shrank. And that's really ultimately the driver for stocks is the direction of earnings. That's driven by economic activity, and that's driven by money availability. Now, again, what do? People like me are famous for coming on here and telling you exactly what to do with high conviction. You don't have to do anything. Like my dad used to come down to the basement and look at my brother and me and say, don't just sit there, do something. All year I've been suggesting, don't just do something, sit there. If you don't have a high conviction level, that's when we get whipsawed. And I don't. I have a market momentum that's telling me you can't bet against it. And I got a fundamental backdrop that tells me you don't want to add to it until you go back and at least retest that low. So that's been our framework for months. I really don't see any reason to change it and make a big bet given the backdrop that we have.
We have we have a jobs number coming on Friday, CPI number the week after that, and then the Fed meeting. So we're looking at 3+ weeks when it seems as if the market is going to have this intense focal point on one place and probably will react to it there. You have a September seasonal weakness, midterm election patterns, maybe there's a little difference there. Is there any way to sort of say what to look for to know if the market has overshot or given you some kind of signal that things might be firming up?
So the great philosopher Mike Tyson said everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the face, right? So every time I look back at interest rates when they're spiking and when the Fed is really tight, they end up easing pretty quickly. The data point that I'm really focused on here, Mike, is the unemployment rate. Remember, the core PCE, for some god unknown reason, the Fed has let the narrative be about the CPI. The core PCE, which they've stated in the past they use, because its weightings are better and more even, that peaked a few months ago. So we know that inflation is getting a little bit better. It's not where they want it to be. Today's message was clear by Fed Chair Powell. But I think the real thing that's going to be the kicker of when they're going to not just stop tightening rates, but ease more quickly than people think, is when the unemployment rate starts to go up. And in our view, that's going to be by the end of the year. Because if you look at the National Federation of Independent Business Small Business Hiring Plans Index, it leads the unemployment rate by 4 months. And we're coming to the point where it should pivot. So I don't know if it's August or September, but ultimately I'm watching the unemployment rate more specifically. Because like I said, when the economy starts to really punch you in the face in an election year and the markets are weak, I don't know how hawkish they're going to sound.
Exactly. Yeah. No, there should be a rethink before maybe Powell suggested there would be today. We'll see how that goes. Tony, great to talk to you. Thanks a lot for coming on.
I'm actually I'm quite surprised. That was a good discussion, actually. Some of the points I didn't agree with, but Tony Dwyer out of Canaccord Genuity, super positive, soft, like well-spoken guy, and interesting. So, that's the real question: is when is the Fed going to pivot? I know if the Fed goes out and says, "Look, we're going to pivot tomorrow," then no one's going to care about their policy today. They cannot say that. They have to show true face. So that's interesting. The biggest data metric he's looking at is unemployment. Interesting. There's some questions in here. Oh, by the way, thanks for the super chat, Alexander. Sending you some secret DD on the lounge. Let's see here. Our Tesla closing price guessing game. Yes, we should play that now. All right, throw in the chat your best Tesla closing price guess for today. Remember, Price is Right rules. You have to be at or under. If you're over even by a penny, you can't win. The prize is virtual juju, which I throw at you. I have a big fat orange here. Throw your best guess in the chat. I'll guess as well today. I'm gonna guess 293. 293. That's my guess. Maybe I'll throw it in the chat. On the dot. Remember, you're gonna have a way better chance if you throw in some sort of percentage. All right. Volume today is 50 million. 50 million. Remember, this is not your mom's 50 million. This is 16.6 million pre-split. Some wild guesses in the chat. I still have to get used to this. Like 287. I feel like the last time we saw this nominal number was, I want to say, post last split. Remember when Tesla split last time and then it sold off in the week or two after because of the capital raise? I think we dipped into the 300s then, and maybe even dipped into the 200s nominally speaking back then. Where is the split? August 2020, right? Let's see here. Right here, split 100. No, actually 300. We didn't hit 200. Yeah, even then. It's been a while. 288 sitting on Tesla at the moment. Look at NVIDIA. What's NVIDIA up to? Yeah, it's down 9%. The Nasdaq's just weak today, like 4% down. And I saw a question here. I want to try to find it again. Where is it? It was actually Farzad saying, I wonder how much of Powell's comments today were to gauge what the market was willing to absorb. Could this play into the equation in October? Look, I think Powell definitely looks at the market. But I color me more of an optimist. Color me someone that looks on the brighter side. But I really don't think he cares too much about the market per se. I think he cares about inflation. I think he cares about people's reaction to what he says regarding consumer demand. And then I think he cares about employment. I think that's it. I think the markets are a byproduct or a proxy to that for sure. And especially in a midterm year, there might be political pressure on him for sure. But I think he cares about what he says. How does that affect demand? If he says stuff that's quite ease, gets everyone starting spending money again, well, it makes a difference. So let's see here. There's another question. Where is it? John Vu says, what's your opinion on why the market so badly, even if the Fed came out with nothing bad today? I think the expectation is, I think some of the comments around pain were not absorbed well from the market. That was a big one. I think the market doesn't like hearing from Chairman Powell that there's going to be some pain. Like that doesn't, it's not very optimistic sounding. And then there's a lot of algo selling as well based on the headlines. So again, that's why I'm watching the options order flow, right? To take a look at what are the options pricing in? Because I think that really shows us kind of more or less the truer hand, in my opinion. Blake says, do you ever come out East Toronto meetup? I've been to Toronto once, actually, only. I'll let everyone know if I go out to East. Actually, kind of a pseudo meetup. Like I'm speaking at EV Revolution in BCIT here in Burnaby. I think September. I don't want to get the date wrong here. Let me just pull it up. I think it's the. Let's see here. It's December 25th. I'm speaking at EV Revolution with a couple of familiar faces, maybe even that you guys know. Brian from My Tesla Weekend, Tesla Herbert will be there as well. I haven't really promoted it just yet, just because I don't have too much in terms of marketing material just yet. But maybe I'll pull it up here. So I'll be there. We'll all have a stand there. So if you guys want to meet up there, feel free to. Here it is. It's the Evolution 2022. It's to promote EV adoption, to answer questions from people that are looking to buy EVs, bust some myths about EVs. We'll be having more of a panel there. It'll be in BCIT Burnaby campus here. I'm really looking forward to it and to actually meet some other fellow YouTubers. Hello, guess. Yash, I'd like to hear why you guess a round number. Guess is less likely to win. Seems to me that each penny has 1 in a 100 chance. That's a good point, Hillary. Why does a round number? I just think, that's a good question. Philosophically speaking, I just don't think we close on the whole number very often. Maybe that's just my bias speaking, but I just don't think we close on the whole number at all. Like 0, 0, double zeros. I don't think we usually close on those very often. Maybe it is my bias. I guess probability speaking wise, it's pretty even. Let's see here. Matt's in the chat as well. Matt, how's it going? Farzad's calling you out for being bearish. Dan says, question, will Tesla's beta now be 6-1? That's a good question, Dan. No, the outstanding share, like the way to look at it is the percentage change, because the percentage change is what affects the market cap, right? So still consider it a 1.6 to 2 to 1. Yeah, I can see how that would get a little bit weird, right? Because remember, we're not looking at the nominal change in the stock price. We're looking at the percentage. So it doesn't really matter to us what happens. Boyle says, didn't we literally close on a whole number last week? Didn't we close on the 01 last week? I guess we could pull this up. Closed at, oh, this includes after hours though. It says last week we closed at 296.67. Oh, I guess 67 rounds to, yeah, was it 900? Is that? Oh, well, there you go. Whatever. I kind of low-key don't want to win. Like, it kind of be rigged. Like, how rigged is it? Everyone's having a good time. We do this contest, and I start winning it on my own stream. So, maybe I win it. I don't know. 288.67. A little bit of a rally here. I mean, not a lot. To end the day here, we have about 10 minutes left until close. I mean, anything can kind of happen. Maybe some short covering going on. I was supposed to give y'all the options order flow. Let me see here. I was supposed to give everyone the options order flow, and I completely forgot to put it up on my screen. All right, there we go. Open the link up. Chrome. Whoops, not this one. This is the options flow right now as we speak. As you can see, bottom right, a big fat nothing burger. Y'all. Farzad. So Farzad's moved to Texas now, and he's trying to teach me how to say y'all. You know, I quite like the use of y'all. I do get made fun of it sometimes. Like here in Vancouver, really, like no one really uses that kind of slang. But I guess it's the Southern in me. I don't have any Southern in me, but I just heard Abby laugh in the living room. I have no Southern in me, but I guess Vancouver's pretty south. If you want to call Canadian Southern, does that count? I don't know. 289 sitting on Tesla at the moment. Let's pull up. Do you guys think today? I guess I'll ask this question now. Do you guys think today's the day? Like a couple weeks, 3 or 4 weeks ago, I waited after hours and we got the split announcement with the date. Any chance we get the investment grade today after hours? Any chance? I probably don't want to. Yeah, really good looking candles here. 289 sitting on Tesla. Quite the bounce from 287. Michael says, what? Vancouver is South BC. Absolutely. No, not possible today. Why today? Listen, here's the thing. The only way it comes out is if I end my stream. Like I've kind of, that one time I caught the split live on stream and I waited for it, I felt like a G. But I don't think it's gonna happen again. I just think my luck ran out. Usually, you guys know, I will sign off on a stream. It can be whenever, and quite literally 15 minutes after I sign off, some big news will come out. So, I just, you know, it's not that we're expecting it, by the way, today. It's a complete shot in the dark. Like, it could not happen for the next month. We don't even get a note out. So, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just thinking about it today a little bit more than I know. Maybe because I was talking to Tesla Boomer Mama yesterday. Hillary says, I love to think of Matt Smith getting paid to hang out with us retail, quote unquote, invaders on a Friday. Love your work, Matt. I totally agree. Matt is so awesome. Go check out his Twitter and go check out Good Soil as well. Matt's in the Juju gang, confirmed. Farzad says, Twitter settlement announced market close today. Book it. Okay, Farzad's on record for that. Maybe we get some Twitter news. Maybe that's more likely, actually. Maybe that's a good point. Maybe the Twitter news comes out today. Yeah. Is the Twitter overhang still on Tesla, though? I'm going to throw the question back to you guys. Throw it in the chat. Yes or no? I don't think it is. I think Elon's quite good in his cash on hand. I don't think he needs to really worry about it. You guys really think there is still Twitter overhang? Apparently copied Chris. No. Actually, a lot of you guys saying yes. Even Matt saying yes. Interesting. Okay, well maybe I'm just oblivious. Honestly, I'm not following much of the Twitter stuff day to day. I know Farzad's in the complete opposite boat as I am. He's loving the drama. I'm just not like I didn't buy Twitter shares. I don't really consider it a great business. If Elon buys it, great. I think it might turn into more of a public utility or a protocol like Jack Dorsey wants. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it. I don't follow it too much, to be honest. Like, I just kind of consider it something that's gonna happen one way or another. Elon has enough cash. Maybe I should start getting into it. You guys seem to think there is a lot of overhang on Tesla for it. Interesting. I mean, there's a handful of people that say no, not at all, for sure. But Twitter overhang or not Twitter overhang, I think the biggest thing is Tesla EPS. We're talking like pretty monstrous discrepancy between the street, and I think Matt tweeted this out a couple of days ago. Actually, I'm going to find it for Matt and publicize it here. Let's see here. Let me try to find it. Did I show this? I don't think I showed this last week because I don't think it was out last week. Matt says, let me not cover his face there. Matt Smith, go follow him. I was watching an interview with James Stevenson, I cannot underscore enough, and was struck by the fact that the variance between Wall Street and the Twitter analysts, including Gary Black, is so stark. I pulled together a quick table comparing Tesla's 2023 EPS estimates for the three of us compared to Wall Street. And this is the chart here. You'll see, and again, this is not their actual target prices or anything like that. It's just what they estimate EPS to be at. The Wall Street consensus for EPS EPS next year is $17.26. The trailing 12 EPS currently for Tesla, let me just see, where is it? Is it like give or take $8? $8.33 is the trailing 12 EPS. So next year's EPS for Tesla, and that's remember, that's not just 2022. Like 2022 is a large portion of that, and remember factory shutdowns and all that sort of stuff. But $17.26. Gary Black's at $24 EPS next year for the fiscal year next year. Matt's at $27.78, and James is over $35 EPS. So it's kind of crazy, the discrepancy. And so implied earnings beat, obviously you can deduce from that. And at 50 PE, and of course, like currently sitting, Tesla trailing 12 PE is 34. It was a little bit higher pre-split. Tesla forward PE is 23. So take that for what you want. But at a 50 PE, the implied share price from Wall Street, and this is pre-split, of course, 863 from Wall Street, 1200 for Gary Black, pretty much on the dot. For Matt, 1389, and for James, 1757. So on the higher end, if you care for the upper end of that range, divide by 3, that's 585 now post-split, 585. And again, this is not their target or anything like that. That's just implying with the 50 PE. So, I mean, the discrepancy is honestly, the way I kind of look at EPS, and I've been looking at EPS this way, is kind of like, okay, for every, so $17 EPS, 1.7 million cars. But I know with economies of scale, this is probably closer to 1.4, 1.5. Gigacastings, 4680 form factor. Certain things that are going to be margin enhancing for Tesla. You could argue FSD, more FSD next year as well. So, 1.4, 1.5, I don't really know what the Wall Street consensus is there. But you talk about, I think the dial here, the consensus is just the economies of scale as we move forward. 288.55. Hopefully I didn't misrepresent anyone's numbers there, but that's just when I look at that, I just am dumbfounded by the discrepancy. But again, remember, Tesla is an execution story. Tesla is not about what they say they're going to do yet. Like if Apple says they're going to do something, the market pretty much likes to price the majority of that in. If Tesla says something, the market really wants to wait for that, which is, I mean, fair enough. That says Matt and Yash are the top 1 and 2 tallest guys in real life that don't seem tall on YouTube. I guess you don't. Yeah, I don't really do too many. I'm not that tall. But yeah, I guess I don't really do any moving shots. I'm always sitting on my chair or something like that. I'll tell you what. No Canadian measures height in centimeters. No Canadian does that. 2-minute warning? Yes, 1-minute warning. A 15-second warning here, actually. 288 currently sitting on Tesla. 6.4 on a good day. Again, if I got my Blundstones on, it's the middle of winter. It's raining here. I got my Blundstones. Closer to 6.4. Avi's coughing. At 288.09. Sitting on Tesla at the moment. And closed at the moment. So 288.09 is our closing price for the day. Let me just pull up see if anyone got anywhere close. 288, and by the way, we're down 2.7% on the day. Oh, actually hopefully not some of the. Richard guessed 288.87. Tommy guessed 288.20. Gurdeep guessed 288.35. 288.69 by John. Brian guessed 288.51. Steven. Everyone's over. Oh, Renee's pretty close, but remember, Price is Right rules. She guessed 288.15. Oh, did anyone come closer? Actually, hold on. Let's see here. No, not with my back, Royce. My hip is still killing me. I've still been having problems with my hip, unfortunately. Did anyone guess 287? Okay, so Amit guessed 287.69. Nice. Stride guessed 287.44. So Amit might be the closest. Oh, actually, no. Alex guessed 287.87. So that's closer. Oliver is a little bit lower. I think our winner is Alex Caldwell. Alex, shout out to you. That's actually very funny. For the first time in a long time, I don't remember, someone's won the contest with guessing not even in the same dollar number that we're in. Farzad, don't do that to me. 288.09. Alex, congrats to you for winning. I think you win for the day because no one really thought we'd close this low. 288.09, and we're up a little bit after hours. Hadouken, you got me again. Thank you. There we go. Farzad does this. So after the Friday Power Hour streams, he'll throw. What did you throw in the other day? Did you got me pretty bad? Like pretty much rickrolled me on stream. What was it? It was like investment grade. Was it investment grade maybe that you got me last week? I don't even know. The Price is Right will get you. Absolutely. I gotta get you back. Gotta get you back. Maybe I'll just show up one day in your StreamYard, one of your as a guest host, pretending to be someone else. All right. Much love, everyone. Thank you for an awesome Friday stream. Not the best way to close the week, but we've split. We closed at 288.09. Remember, we were as high as pre-split, $304, $304 on Tesla. The split is over. We are a little bit shy of our 300 moving average at 285. Remember, our 200 moving average is at 298. So again, we've missed our 200 moving average again. And if anyone cares for options order flow, I'm just going to throw that out here one last time because I think it's important to just see what the options market is pricing in for our Monday. Some seem to think it's going to be quite ugly. Let's just take a look here. Let's see here. And it's a big fat nothing burger, in case you were wondering. There it is. Oh, I'm not sharing it. There it is. Big fat nothing burger to end the week, to be honest. So nothing to really worry about in terms of bull or bear flow. I guess next week will be next week. We'll take it as they come. I appreciate everyone subscribe. By the way, if you haven't already hit the subscribe. I'm trying to hit 20K. Will I do it? I don't know. I think FSD level 5 might come out first. Much love. Thank you everyone for tuning in for another awesome stream. Go spread some good juju. Go turn off your phones, cell phones, laptops. Spend some time in nature, family, friends. Sign off. Not everything's about looking at stocks and numbers and portfolios. Go do whatever you want to re-energize mentally. And thanks to all new Patreon subscribers or new Patreons, patrons. I keep saying Patreons. Channel members, all that sort of stuff. I'll catch you guys on Discord. Shout out to you guys and take care. Much love. Be happy.